Okay, so I was asked to speak on the Todd Akin situation. The guy who's saying that if it's true forcible rape, she wouldn't get pregnant because um, the female body has mechanisms to deal with that sort of situation. So to a certain extent, she must have wanted it. And like, I'm pro-life, and I speak for the most vulnerable, and that's the kids. That's the kids. It's like, is he serious? Is he serious? Like, oh, I have no evidence to support what I'm saying at all. No peer-reviewed essays. Couldn't even tell you the doctors I got this from. Couldn't provide you with any kind of research. Any kind of explanation of where this came from. To me, this is like pro-life to the extreme. Like, these pro-lifers were trying to step up their game, take it to a whole new level, and it's not working. Okay. So, let's see where Todd Atkins may have gotten this from. I watched The Great Sperm Race. National Geographic documentaries. I like documentaries, I'm not ashamed to say it. And does the female body have mechanisms to prevent pregnancies? Yes. Yes, they do. But that's pregnancy as a whole. That's not necessarily in the case of rape exclusively. And obviously that mechanism isn't that effective because I'm here, you're here. So obviously it has to allow for some procreation. Now, what are the mechanisms in the body that allow for this? It's like the same stuff that it helps you prevent, like, fight colds. It's antibodies, white blood cells, fighting a virus and fighting bacteria, because semen is a foreign entity to the female body. It's not something we produce, so obviously the body's going to attack it. Also, the vagina is very acidic. Is it acidic? Is it alkaline? Acidic? I can't remember. It's very alkaline. Yes, I think so. Because semen is, I believe, basic. So, that's another way it tries to kill off sperm. So you have got to watch The Great Sperm Race. Not only is it in this delightful British accent, but you've just got to watch it. You just got... So yeah. So those are the mechanisms. But for some women it's more efficient than others. Like, some women have, I guess, in a hospitable environment, so they can't get pregnant easily. I saw it on this Strange Sex documentary. This woman was allergic to semen. Her body aggressively attacked semen, so she was unable to procreate. So, obviously, this mechanism works differently in different people. So, and mechanisms fail all the time. Okay? If you look at the human body and see how many errors and how many things go wrong on a day-to-day basis, I don't know why you would even say something like that. So, maybe he had taken that information and taken it out of context and thought that it would be heightened under a situation of stress. But then he specified forcible rape. So, I'm going to give you a scenario. Say I'm a young 15-year-old girl and I go to a party. And somebody spikes my orange juice with some vodka and a roofie. And I'm a lightweight. And it was my best guy friend. And I trust him with my life. And I wouldn't think that he would do something like this to me. But he does. And I'm a virgin. I don't sleep around. Like, I've never even seen a penis. That's how virginal I am. And he rapes me, and I'm not even conscious, let alone able to fight back. And I get pregnant. Does that mean I wanted it? Does that mean I wanted it, Mr. Todd Atkins? And his apology was ridiculous. I have 2 daughters. And see, here's a picture of my wife. So obviously I love women. And I used the wrong words. How can you did not use the wrong words, Todd Atkins. Like, how dumb do you think we are? You said it with such confidence. You were so straightforward that, how do you expect me to believe you said the wrong words? You didn't even stutter. You didn't even stumble. You didn't even hesitate. So I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. But let me put it in terms that you would understand, Todd Atkins. Because I know you're a guy, and for one, you really have no business speaking on the affairs of the female body, especially when you have done no research. I could understand if you were a doctor or a gynecologist, somebody who is trained in this field, who can be more empathetic, but still at the end of the day not fully understand, because, I mean, you don't have a vagina or ovaries. You don't, it's not the same. It's just like I can never explain what it would be like to get kicked in the nuts, because I understand how it feels, because I don't have nuts. But can you always control when you're aroused? Can you? I mean, you may have been able to train yourself now. I mean, there is some of a mind-body aspect, but can you truly control when you're aroused? So how do you expect women to control whether or not they get pregnant? I mean, if that were true, why would there be birth control pills? Why even have condoms? Why have intrauterine devices? Why have all these shots to prevent pregnancy? Like, how ignorant can your... I'm just dumbfounded. Like, why are you victimizing these women even more, okay? They've already been through enough trauma, as it is. Now let's think why the data may correlate with what you said. Conception by rape is very rare, according to some doctors and some imaginary research papers that I might have read. Let's think why there might be that correlation, some possible explanations, some possible causes even. Ladies, how often do you go to the doctor when you're pregnant, and do they ask you, so, was this conception consensual? Like, are you sure this wasn't conceived out of rape? And how many women willingly offer that information to their doctors? And how many, I'm pretty sure there's patient-doctor confidentiality. So, does the doctor, is he gonna go and just start sharing with the world, like, oh yeah, I've had X many patients, like Barbara, Jean, Rose, Mary, Beth, yeah, they were all pregnant because of rape. So you can add that to your polls, to your case studies. Like, how often does that actually happen? And you also have to go through the courts too, if you even take it as far to say that you were raped, and press charges. You have to go to the courts, and then they have to swab you and do a whole rape kit, and then somebody else has to determine whether or not, under the eyes of the law, you were raped or not. So that process is already invasive enough as it is, and then to sprinkle on your comments, Todd Akin, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be really ashamed of yourselves. I don't know how you can look your daughters and your wife in the eye after saying something like that. Like, imagine if your daughter came up to you and said that she was raped. Would you tell her that she had to have that baby just because of you're pro-life? You have to carry that baby for 9 months. I don't know. I know there's some women who are strong, and I don't even know if that's even the right word to say that some women are strong and some women are weak, whether they decide to keep their baby after something so traumatic. But yes, some women are able to do that. But some women really can't. And I don't think you should be the one to make that decision for them. Okay? Your rights end where mine begin. And that, I thought, was a Republican principle. But you guys seem to really enjoy infringing on the personal rights and freedoms. And I thought you guys had no business in the home. Instead, focus on your attention on things that actually do need regulations. Like these corporations. Okay? And stop focusing on people's personal lives. Okay? What I do in the bedroom, what medications I take, who I choose to marry. I shouldn't have to justify that to you. You shouldn't be the one to tell me what I can and cannot do. So long as I'm not infringing on somebody else's rights and freedoms, I don't see how it affects you. Okay? So I take plan B because I've been raped. And plan B is freaking expensive. I've seen it in the store. Whew. That's expensive. It should be covered under health insurance. So I've been raped. One, you don't want to cover it under health insurance. So I'm a young girl. I gotta pay for it myself. All it is preventing contraception, because my body doesn't have that natural anti-rape preventing pregnancy mechanism that you seem to think we all do have. So I take it. It's just preventing the gametes from uniting. And if they have united, it's preventing implantation into the uterine lining. Okay? So, if that's considered an abortion, then you do that every night, I'm pretty sure. Jacking off, mister. Okay? So you need to take a good hard look at in the mirror before you start getting all hypocritical. But, I don't know. Lots of people have already talked about it. They probably talked about it a lot better than I have, and this is a ridiculously long video. I think I've said pretty much all I need to say. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you. I've been kind of lazy. I'm sorry. But yeah.